Once again, you already know what it is, and you already know where you have reached. This is the one and only Sean Hubbard bringing you a very special edition of HUBBanomics as we give you a brand new review of the first ever 3-hour Smackdown that just debuted on USA Network. I'm not clear if it was the first ever Smackdown that went 3 hours. I believe so. But either way, it was definitely the debut edition of Smackdown in the year 2025. So I thought that I would bring you guys something special tonight. Big shout out to my tag team partner in Clash of the Podcast, co-host Conrad, who is moderating this chat tonight. Everybody who's in the building, you guys will get a shout out very shortly. But yes, we are in the building, man. It is Friday, January 3rd, 2025. If we haven't already, allow me to wish you a very happy new year. Godspeed and God's blessings in the new 365 that we're about to embark on. We got 362 left in 2025 as we've already been through days 1, 2, and 3. And we are ready to rock and roll with some really good professional wrestling that took place tonight. Did Sean just say that? Yes, I did. I thought SmackDown was pretty good. Let's get right into it, man. We got to give a big shout out to the chat, of course, my tag team partner and moderator, Conrad Cushman, the host of Everything Pro Wrestling each and every Wednesday night, along with my guy Derek on the EPW channel as they do their AEW review. And, of course, every Monday night, 6:05, is Clash of the Podcast. A little yeet from me, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to the homie Cleezy, 13Z, 4Tweezy in the building, saying good evening, everyone. And of course, M. Leezy, 4Cheesy in the building, saying good evening, everyone. Hope you had a good Friday. I hope you had a good Friday too, my man. And Conrad, of course, giving some love to the chat. Shout out to everybody in the building. My boy Quilly's made it outside, man. We appreciate you, brother. He says, what's up, Hubs? Your boy Sir Quills is here to enjoy the latest special edition of HUBBanomics, a 3-hour Smackdown, but still the same predictable, underwhelming finish. But again, this is WWE. I am with you. I like the show, but of course there were some predictable aspects that I'm going to have some good points and some bad points, Quilly. M. Leezy says that Nia Jax and Naomi cooked tonight. I would say that I agree with half of that equation. I'll get into that shortly. M. Leezy, Conrad throwing up the rock and roll side. We appreciate you, brother. Renegade, our boy James from Pro Wrestling Shooters in the building. He says that the 2026 Royal Rumble is going to be in Saudi. Wow. My goodness. Well, they're getting that money, I guess. Tokyo's in the building. The Don is in the building. He says 3 hours is a no. We're going to get into that a little later, man. But thank you so much for being here. I certainly appreciate y'all showing up late on a Friday night. Hopefully nobody has to work in the morning. We appreciate you guys very, very much. HUBBanomics is definitely in the building. So let's get it right into this show, man. I'm not going to lie. I got to give my boy Conrad and Derek some props for their Wednesday night show because I see now how much work goes into doing a review of a show. I took crazy notes, man. So let's rock and roll. Tonight's episode of Smackdown was a debut edition for the year 2025, and it is now a 3-hour show as of tonight, January 3rd, 2025. A big change in the ring announcers. It was learned earlier in the week that Lillian Garcia would take over duties on SmackDown, and the wonderful Alicia Taylor is going to go to Raw on Netflix. So we'll see her on January the 6th on Netflix. And make sure you tune into right here and on EPW channel for a simulcast as myself and Conrad will be doing a Clash of the Podcast watch-along of that show this coming Monday, special start time of 7:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the show starts off, guys. Just bear with me. I want you guys to give your comments of the show throughout. We got a couple people in the chat. We appreciate you guys very much. But here's the deal, man. So the show starts off with the video package of what took place leading to the announcement of Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Both titles will be on the line, air quote, as Kevin Owens is currently in possession of the very prestigious Winged Eagle belt. And, of course, Cody Rhodes is the reigning WWE champion. That leads to Cody Rhodes starting off the show, entering the arena. He lets the whole world know that he's not medically cleared to compete because of what Kevin Owens does to him. You know, let's break out the crying towel for the guy. Of course, on the way to the ring, he has $100,000 in pyro, and he's kissing babies, and he's doing autographs on the way to the ring, and he's high-fiving grandmas, and he's walking old ladies across the street. The whole typical Cody Rhodes hot garbage that I'm used to talking about. But let me not be a hater, even though I can't stand him right now. It is what it is. So basically, Cody Rhodes is in the ring. He's talking about how he can't compete right now because he hasn't been cleared because of what Kevin Owens did to him. And in a big surprise, I'll say a pretty big surprise, Drew McIntyre shows up on SmackDown. Now, of course, as Drew McIntyre's on his way to the ring, #WhatDraft, shout out to Conrad, Michael Cole discusses the transfer window. Now, obviously, those of us who are sports fans know that the transfer window is a play on words for transfer portal that takes place in college football. And basically what WWE is trying to say is that now because of the transfer window, people from either show can be transferred or traded to another show. Let's be real. There hasn't really been a brand split since there was a brand split. So the fact that there's a transfer window really doesn't mean a darn thing. So cut the crap. Exactly, M. Leezy. What brand split? 100%. Give me a freaking break. Right? But that's the explanation that Michael Cole gave us viewing public as Drew McIntyre goes to the ring. Drew McIntyre gets in the ring. He lets Cody Rhodes know, I'm not here to attack you. I'm not here to bum rush you. I'm not here to give you a hard time. I'm here to help you. I'm here to let you know that you are the quarterback of the new generation of WWE. The best generation. It's better than the Attitude Era. It's better than the new generation of 1995. It's better than the Federation era. And obviously, Drew McIntyre made a little mistake because he made a Hogan reference saying Attitude Era brother. That's not accurate. Hogan was more Federation era, but I understand the point he was trying to make. And basically lets everybody know that Cody Rhodes needs to be more prepared, understand that, you know what, you need to watch your back, you need to be prepared, and blah, 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 blah. So as Drew McIntyre gets out of the ring, well, first of all, I took that as Drew trying to help Cody Rhodes. But Cody Rhodes did not really accept that because he's like, you know what, I appreciate what you're saying, but then again, I really don't appreciate what you're saying because at the end of the day, I know you're going to try and fight me or jump me or whatever, so let's get it on. You want to throw hands. All of a sudden, Cody's a big, tough guy, whatever. And he challenges Drew to a fight. Drew once again says, hey, I'm not here to fight you. I'm just here to let you know that you need to watch your back. And out of nowhere comes Kevin Owens. Attacks him from behind. They scuffle, they fight, they fall over each other. And predictably so, here comes the officials. Here comes the guys from the back. Here comes security. They break it up. Blah, 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 blah. I am a big Kevin Owens fan. I think Kevin Owens should have won at Saturday Night's Main Event last month. I think Kevin Owens should win at the Royal Rumble coming up in February, but he won't. So what does all of this really mean? But was the segment okay? It was all right. I will give the segment a C because it was very predictable. Only thing that wasn't predictable was Drew McIntyre showing up. But again, another BS excuse because of the transfer window, a.k.a. transfer portal. That's why the brand split really never meant anything from the beginning. Cleasy13Z says, I spent $400 on 2 tickets for the wife and I to see SmackDown in a few weeks. Give me 3 hours. At least I feel like I'm getting my money's worth. That's a fact. That's part of my argument for it being 3 hours, bro. Conrad says brand split is over. Never really started, brother. And Lee lets us know that Raw is coming to Buffalo in March. Okay, so Raw on Netflix in March. Hopefully Conrad might be in the building. Maybe Quilly will be in the building. A couple of Buffalo guys in the building. Maybe they'll be outside. We'll see. The only Vinny we like is in the building. He says, sup, guys? God bless y'all. God bless you too, man. Happy Friday, brother. So after the match, after that, I should say that segment is over with Drew and KO and, Mr. Babyface, American Apple Pie, Chevrolet, Mr. America, Cody Rhodes is finished. You see in the back that the new bloodline are arriving in the building. And Michael Cole lets everybody know it's going to be new bloodline versus OG bloodline in a 6-man tag. And also you see the arrival of you see the arrival, I should say, of Naomi and Bianca entering the building as they get prepared for Naomi's championship match against Nia Jax later tonight. And we go to a commercial. So the first segment of the show was not that bad. I wasn't really blown away by it, but it was what it was. So as you come back from commercial, you have hope because you see Andrade on his way to the ring. Andrade is going to face the United States heavyweight champion Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm still confused about the character for Shinsuke Nakamura. Let me know if you guys like the current Shinsuke Nakamura character. I'm kind of confused by it, but I digress. Shinsuke Nakamura and Andrade have a pretty good match. I would say that there were a couple of highlights that stand out in this match. I would say the double moonsault from Andrade, where he does the moonsault off the top rope. Shinsuke moves out of the way, and he does a secondary moonsault similar to, Charlotte Flair, Charlotte in the Bank, Charlotte Rumble, you know who I'm talking about. And then another really good spot in the match was Shinsuke Nakamura doing a DDT off the top rope. I'm going to repeat that. DDT off the top rope onto the ring post. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, in a situation like this where, in my opinion, you're trying to make Andrade better, you're trying to put Andrade in a position to be a believable challenger for the United States Championship. Now, this was a non-title match, guys. A non-title match. So logic will tell you, hey, let Andrade win this one, even if he wins it by DQ, even if he wins it by countout. Have him win the match so that can set up a possible championship match down the line. Sounds like a good idea. You know what that means. Shinsuke Nakamura wins. And, of course, then from there you hear L.A. Knight. L.A. Knight runs to the ring. He beats up Shinsuke. Shinsuke gets away. Blah, blah, blah. It's going to lead to a title match down the road. L.A. Knight clearly has not moved on from when Shinsuke beat him for the United States Championship at Survivor Series. And Michael Cole, I want to make reference to this. Guys, I want to let you guys ask if you guys heard this. Did you hear Michael Cole say that Shinsuke Nakamura, when he faced L.A. Knight at Survivor Series, L.A. Knight was not in the right frame of mind? I thought that was a little bit of real life seeping into this situation. He said that L.A. Knight was not in the right frame of mind. Now, we all know that the behind-the-scenes rumor was that L.A. Knight was not too pleased about losing the United States Championship at Survivor Series. I thought that was a little bit of a dig at L.A. Knight. So, I mean, you guys let me know what you think. I thought it was a little bit of a dig, but it is what it is. Then you go backstage after that run-in by L.A. Knight on Shinsuke, and it's Apollo Crews talking to Pretty Deadly. And they're pretty much saying, Apollo Crews is saying that Pretty Deadly lied about the fact of who, did the attack backstage, whatever the case may be. Here comes Legado de Fantasma. A scuffle breaks out. They're saying that Pretty Deadly lied about DIY and et cetera, and Nick Aldis breaks it up. When they come back from commercial, Aldis is still questioning Pretty Deadly about the DIY attack the previous week, and the attack that DIY probably did, that we all know they did. And then DIY interrupts and says to Aldis that all four guys have thin ice. Are on thin ice, I should say. They're all on thin ice. That Pretty Deadly's on thin ice, the DIY is on thin ice. Whatever. It is what it is. I don't know what that means. Thin ice, you're on thin ice. That means you're going to get in trouble because you're liars, whatever the case may be. Slap on the wrist, whatever. Who cares? Stuff like this, guys, as you can tell by the tone of my voice, is really pointless TV in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. You guys let me know what you think. So here comes the Motor City Machine Guns, and they have like this kind of like, I guess you could say, they have a tag team title shot coming up later that night. So what DIY does is they insinuate to Pretty Deadly. They don't say it out loud, but they say, hey, listen, it will be very much to your benefit for us to retain the titles tonight. So obviously we know what that means. Pretty Deadly is going to be in line for a title shot if DIY is able to retain. So I guess that was kind of a cliffhanger to see what would happen later that night. So no words, just insinuation, but it was very much insinuated that if Pretty Deadly gets involved and makes sure that DIY remain the tag team champions, it'll be to Pretty Deadly's benefit. So the only video we like, he says, just went upstairs and heard my brother call LA Knight an off-brand Miz playing 2K24. Oh, boy, an off-brand Miz. Wow. Quilly says the Cody Rhodes slander is real, ladies and gentlemen. I can't stand the dude, bro. You know what I don't like about him most, Quilly, is that I liked him before. Cody Rhodes is an extremely talented person, but this incarnation of Cody Rhodes really annoys me. He's still super talented, just really annoys me. Vinny says Cody getting called quarterback is so cringeworthy. If anything, he's Roman's running back to take care of the carries on a full schedule. I like that, Vinny. And you know what? It sounds like super facts to me. Just my opinion. Clown13420 says Charlotte started doing that spot because her husband did it. She started using it when he went to AEW. Okay, so Charlotte took it from Andrade. Got you. Quilly says Knight versus Nakamura for the U.S. title next week, and you know what that means. Nakamura will retain. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. So moving forward in the match, or moving forward in the evening, I thought a very sneaky good match. Little pointless because obviously we know it's going towards a U.S. title match later on. But Michin versus Piper Niven, they did pretty well. I thought it was a really well done match. It was the United States champion on the outside, Chelsea Green, of course, accompanying Piper Niven to the ring. Michin got the victory. A couple of highlights in this match. I thought that it was cool that Michin kicked out of the Piper driver. And apparently, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Apparently, Michin twerking is now a signature move now because she started twerking in the ring. Michael Cole loses his mind. He goes absolutely crazy. He's really excited. And I guess Michin twerking is a thing now. I don't know. But I thought the match was pretty well done from a technical standpoint. Michin won. Obviously, this is going to lead down the road to a possible rematch for the United States Championship in the women's division against Chelsea Green. No match was announced, but obviously that's what's coming down the pike. From there, you see Paul Heyman entering the building. He's arriving through the parking lot area, and they go to commercial. When we come back, we see a Naomi video package getting us all hyped up for her title shot against Nia Jax later in the evening. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. So Naomi's going to have a title shot video package to get us all hyped up. So from there, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's in the ring. And he wants to, quote unquote, set the record straight. He says that Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman trained, molded, prepared Solo to become the tribal chief in the future. Heyman talked about how Roman decided to go for 10 years of revenge on Seth Rollins at WrestleMania with that chair shot. And that's what Cody Rhodes took advantage of in that moment to win the title at WrestleMania. And then at that point, Solo, who he called also a SOB, stole the Ula Fala from Roman Reigns' bag after WrestleMania and then put it around his own neck. Heyman says that Solo built the new bloodline because no one else in the world would acknowledge him and predicts that Roman Reigns will win on Raw on Netflix on 1/6/25, and then Roman Reigns will be acknowledged as the true tribal chief, as she always should be. I want it all. Here comes Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa approaches Paul Heyman. He asks Paul Heyman what's going on, whatever. Paul Heyman says he's going to pee himself, which is kind of funny because he's so scared. He's saying, yeah, I remember what happened last time we were in the ring together. You put me through a table, blah, blah, blah. But the cool part about this promo, I thought Solo did halfway decent. He basically let everybody know, hey, listen, guys, I'm the tribal chief. No one will acknowledge me until I beat Roman Reigns. So here's what I want you to do, Paul Heyman. I want you to take the Ula Fala, and even though he never gave it to him, but I want you to take the Ula Fala on Monday night, and I want you to put it, if Roman Reigns beats me, put it around Roman's neck, and I will, Solo Sikoa will, acknowledge Roman Reigns as the tribal chief. However, obviously Solo said when I beat Roman Reigns, but I'll say if he beats Roman Reigns. Solo is saying, then not only will I be the owner of the Ula Fala, not only will I be the tribal chief, not only will everybody have to acknowledge me, but Paul Heyman, you will be my property as well. So in other words, what we are seeing right now is Solo Sikoa saying that not only is this match for the title of tribal chief, but it is also for the services of Paul Heyman as the wise man. Now, This is a review of Smackdown, but I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of extra and just say, hey, listen, I think Paul Heyman's going to turn on Roman Reigns. I'm predicting it right now. I think Paul Heyman is going to turn on Roman Reigns. I think Solo's going to win this match. I'm not happy about it. I'm a big fan of the Tribal Chief character for Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns has come a long, long way from being the big dog. I couldn't stand him when he was the big dog, but I love the Tribal Chief. The OTC is the man, but I have a feeling, I have a sneaky feeling. Chat, let me know what you think. I think that Solo Sikoa is going to win that match with the help of Paul Heyman. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. So after that, pretty much the segment just ends. There's no physicality. Solo doesn't beat up Paul Heyman or anything. But it is what it is. So here we go now with a Motor City Machine Gun video package. Kind of a backstage pre-recorded interview. And he's saying that DIY, specifically Johnny Gargano, betrayed them and they're going to win back the tag team championship. They make it clear that at this point in time, it took them 3 matches only being in WWE to become the WWE Tag Team Champions. It's only going to take them 1 match to get it back. Thought that was kind of stupid because it only takes anybody 1 match to get it back. But I get what they were trying to say. It just didn't really land, in my opinion. But it was what it was. So then we go to the WWE Women's Champions locker room. So we have Nia Jax and Candice LeRae in the locker room. A short backstage segment where Nia Jax is pretty much just letting Candice know that she wants her to keep Bianca out of her way. I found this pretty interesting for one reason and one reason only, because Candice LeRae, I don't have any issue with her, but I think she's a little bit boring. And I'm not really a big fan of Nia Jax either, but it is what it is. The point I'm trying to make was the part that I found interesting with there was no Tiffany Stratton. There was no Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton was not in that backstage segment in the locker room with Nia and Candice, right? So then they go to commercial, and when they come back from commercial, Sami Zayn is walking down the backstage hallway and runs into Carmelo Hayes, a man who I think should be well on his way to a championship by now. Why he's not, I don't know. I think Carmelo Hayes is a tremendous wrestling talent. Hopefully they pick up steam on him. But Sami runs into Carmelo Hayes, and Melo says that he had Sami beat last week. And Melo's pretty much saying, hey, whether it's you, Sami Zayn, or Braun Strowman, anytime, anywhere, I can kick your butt, blah, blah, blah. The Usos show up to a really nice crowd reaction. And Jimmy's like, do we have a problem here? And, pretty funny that Carmelo doesn't know it's the Usos. I don't know who Carmelo could have thought it was. Carmelo doesn't have any friends, but it is what it is. So it was revealed, obviously, when Melo turns around that it was Jimmy and Jay. The crowd goes crazy. And obviously, Carmelo backs off. Now, a really interesting thing here, guys. I'm going to go to the chat first, and we're going to talk about what happened after that. It was pretty interesting. M. Leezy says, the Nakamura new character is somewhat like the Great Muta tapping into Shinsuke's dark side. I hear you. I'm not a big fan of it, but I hear you. Quilly says, Chelsea Green is women's U.S. champion. Still disgust me. Sorry, not sorry. I hear you, man. I hear you. Conrad showing love. Cleasy13Z says, just fast forward to Solo losing to Ulafala and Jacob attacking him, and it will matter. Yo, that's Conrad's theory that Jacob is eventually going to take over. I would love that. But I'm not sure that's what's going to happen. M. Leezy says it's about time for Heyman heel turn. That's what I'm saying, man. That's my whole theory, bro. Too many people like Paul Heyman right now. That is not Paul Heyman's MO. Too many people like Paul Heyman right now. It's about time for him to turn heel. I agree with you, M. Leezy. Cleasy13Z says, is 2025 people still property? It's wrestling, brother. It's wrestling. Heyman still owes Punk a favor. Yes, and actually Solo mentioned that too. So you still owe Punk a favor. Here's the favor for me. Hold the Ulafala. Yes, Cleasy said, Clown 13420 says, Heyman still owes Punk a favor. He isn't turning until Punk cashes it. I don't know about that, man. Conrad says he misses Melo. I hear you, man. I hear you. So, yeah, that was a cool backstage segment with the Usos, Sammy. But the interesting part about it, guys, did you notice Kevin Owens bumps into Jey Uso and tells Jey Uso to watch his back? Now, the thing that I find even more interesting about that is the fact that that's the exact same words. Those are the exact same words that Drew McIntyre said to Cody Rhodes. Now, I may be overthinking it, but it might be some underlying, camaraderie between KO and Drew. But then again, at the same time, it may just be nothing because obviously Jay is going to face Drew McIntyre on the debut of Raw on Netflix on Monday. So that probably is just the connection, and maybe I'm overthinking it. I'm just trying to think outside the box with you guys, okay? So here we go. Now you got Cody backstage. He's talking to Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis is like, "Oh, Cody, is it okay are you okay? I know that your neck is hurting you. You got to put this hatred for KO to the side. You got to think about your future, and you got to think about the company's future." Are you freaking kidding me? So we all know he's the company guy, but now we're actually saying it on television? Just think about that, guys. You guys wonder why Cody Rhodes gets on my last freaking nerve? They're actually acknowledging, no pun intended, they're actually acknowledging that Cody Rhodes is the company guy. They're actually saying it on television. Does that not annoy anybody but me? Am I the only one who's annoyed by this? So Cody's like, I understand you got to look out for the company, but the new story is this. I know we all talked about my story at WrestleMania, but the new story is anytime I see KO, it's on site. Bro, shut up. Just shut up. On site, you're not that guy. Just stop talking, bro. Anyway, from there we have the Naomi entrance for the Women's Championship match. Bianca, her tag team championship partner, is by her side. Anybody possibly wondering if Jade Cargill made an appearance? She did not. So Naomi is getting ready to challenge Nia Jax. When you come back from commercial, here comes Nia Jax along with Candice LeRae. I thought the match was really good. I am not a fan of Nia Jax. Never have been, never will be. I still think she's very clunky in the ring. I think she's a little bit dangerous in the ring. But for the most part, I thought the match was really good. A couple of match highlights. Split leg drop from Naomi from the top rope. Huge Samoan drop from Naomi to Nia. Crowd was behind Naomi 100%. There were about 7 or 8 that I counted near falls for Naomi to win the title. From there, Candice LeRae gets involved. Bianca beats up Candice. Nia throws Bianca into the steps. Back in the ring, an absolutely fantastic move. Nia has Naomi on her shoulders for what looks like it's going to be a super power slam from the second rope. Somehow, Naomi reverses it from midair and turns it around on Nia. It was super dope. It was super dope. But at that point, it's Tiffany time. Tiffany Stratton comes to the ring. Now, here we go. You want to talk about a range of emotions? Tiffany Stratton comes to the ring. She says she's going to cash in. For some reason, she gives the referee the briefcase to cash in, then pushes the referee over the barricade. Michael Cole, Corey Graves are like, what are you doing? She then takes the briefcase and hits Naomi in the head, which leads to the Annihilator. Nia wins. I'm upset. I'm texting Conrad. I'm texting some other friends. This is why I hate WWE. This is terrible. Blah, 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 blah. But you know what? This time, I was wrong. Because as Naomi is celebrating, as Nia Jax is celebrating in the ring, Tiffany Stratton hits her in the back with the briefcase. And then Bianca Belair takes her shot. By the way, strongest woman in wrestling. She's fantastic. Does the KOD on Nia Jax. Before that, Tiffany attacked Candice LeRae, threw her through the ropes to the ring post. Then the KOD. Then Tiffany takes Bianca out of the ring and throws her over the announce table. And then she cashes in. She finally cashed in. She does the prettiest moonsault ever. 1, 2, 3. We have a new WWE Women's Champion. I was floored. I have to admit, when Nia Jax won the match with Tiffany Stratton's help, I was pissed. This is why WWE stinks. This is terrible. This is exactly why WWE is the worst. I got to admit, y'all. I got to admit, they got me. They got me. Nia Jax winning that match and then Tiffany beating her afterwards, that was pretty freaking cool. I got to admit, that was pretty freaking cool. So, I got to give WWE credit, whether it's Triple H or whoever was writing that particular segment. I thought that they did a good job because that was a very, very unique cash-in to have the challenger who holds the briefcase essentially help the champion retain the title and then immediately afterwards turn on the champion and win the title from her in a second match. Because technically we saw 2 women's championship matches tonight. Nia successfully defended against Naomi, and then Tiffany beat Nia. So I thought it was well done. Very, very impressive. I was shocked. I did not see that coming. And I was impressed. I was actually impressed by that. I can't lie. Conrad says Nia Jax best match. Boy, we can agree to disagree, man. I thought Naomi carried that match. I thought Naomi was excellent. I thought Naomi was absolutely excellent. I can't say the same for Nia Jax. Nia Jax Annihilator hit. Did anybody see where Nia Jax Annihilator hit Naomi? Hit Naomi in the pelvic lower abdomen region. That was uncomfortable, but I don't know. So I disagree with you on that, my brother. Clown says, I love when Shane Douglas did it as a heel in ECW. Okay, that's what's up. A little throwback. I like that. Emleezy says, nice swerve leading to Tiffany winning the title. I agree. Sir Quill's not impressed. He says, Tiffany Stratton cashed in and became new WWE Women's Champion, and I could care less. Listen, man, I'm with you. You know how I feel about WWE. You know how much I feel that they lack in a lot of areas. This particular moment was pretty good, but I respect your opinion, brother. Clown says they need to keep Nia strong and Tiffany loses to Charlotte. Well, the whole Charlotte thing, I kind of see it coming now. Emleezy says Charlotte in the Bank. WrestleMania is before Money in the Bank, so I'm thinking more Charlotte Rumble or Royal Charlotte before Charlotte in the Bank. But I see where you're going with this. So after a commercial break, the new bloodline is running to the ring, and they give all the lines of the backstage promo to Jacob Fatu. And he starts off with, I love you so. And the crowd is like, I love you so. Like, they're into this guy. And so am I. Jacob Fatu is fire, bro. Jacob Fatu is him. Like, I like him. He's really strong on the microphone. He's strong in the ring. Dude is phenomenal. So I think big things are coming. And I kind of buy into what Conrad and I think Clown alluded to earlier. I buy into the fact that Jacob's going to take over the new bloodline. I can see that happening. Maybe as early as Monday night. Who knows? But when they get back from commercial, they have a small backstage interview with Byron Saxton and LA Knight, where LA Knight admits that he attacked Shinsuke because he was upset with the situation that took place at the Survivor Series. And it is official that next week on Smackdown that it will be LA Knight challenging Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship in a rematch from Survivor Series. So we'll see how that plays out. I personally agree with Quilly. I think that Shinsuke is going to retain the title, but we shall see. And also, LA Knight said he's going to stake his claim as winning the Royal Rumble and be the main event of WrestleMania. I think that's not going to happen. But he's saying that I guess you could just take that as LA Knight has officially entered the 2025 Royal Rumble as well. So the OG bloodline, makes the new bloodline, I should say, makes their entrance. They walk to the crowd. It was a cool thing. Like I said, here comes the Byron Saxton LA Knight interview. And then after that, the OG bloodline entrance. Now, y'all know I was happy about. Guys, they let Jey Uso's music play for like 8 minutes, bro. Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Sammy Uso, apparently, by the way Lillian Garcia introduced them as Sammy, Jimmy, and Jey Uso. They come through the crowd. They come out to Jey Uso's music, and they let it play. They let it play walking through the crowd. They let it play coming down the aisle, down the walkway of the steps. They let it play with the Usos got into the ring. They let it play more when they were in the ring and more when they were in the ring. And you can see Lillian Garcia yeeting in the background. Lillian Garcia's into it. Michael Cole is into it. Corey Graves not into it because Corey Graves is a hater, but he's doing a good job as a heel announcer. The crowd's going nuts. The crowd's singing along. Jimmy's dancing. Sammy's doing something that is kind of similar to dancing, whatever it may be. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. Jay is still over, and I love it. And all I can say is yeet. That's all I can say. That music played for over like 8 minutes. 8 minutes. It was phenomenal. So you see, like I said, Lillian Garcia yeeting in the back. It was pretty freaking dope. It was pretty dope. So the match itself was solid. It was a 6-man tag between the new bloodline and the OG bloodline. No Roman Reigns. Anybody who thinks maybe Roman Reigns would have showed up, he did not. We'll see him on Monday. Solo was featured in the match throughout, obviously to make him, look strong, preparing for his match Tribal Combat with Roman Reigns on Monday. Tama Tonga had some good moments. Tama Tonga was strongly featured. There was a point where he was just beating the brakes off of Sami Zayn. Like, it was just bad. He was just beating the crap out of Sami Zayn for like 30 seconds, just punching him in the head. Like, it was crazy. So that was a moment where Tama Tonga shot. And, of course, Jacob Fatu just continues to show himself to be a tremendous future superstar. I mean, Quilly says that Jacob Fatu is awesome. Clown says that Samoa Werewolf is a license to print money. Let him cook. I agree with both of you guys. I think this dude is a phenomenal superstar, and I think he's the future New Bloodline leader, 100%. But we will see when that time comes. The clear fan favorite in the match, obviously, Jey Uso. Jimmy Uso looked very strong considering his broken toe. It looks like he's recovering nicely from that. I'm sure it's heavily taped, maybe a cortisone shot or two. You know what I'm saying? Emily Z says that Jacob Fatu Singleron is going to be insane. I agree with you. So it looked like everything was going according to plan. Jacob Fatu kicked out of Jimmy's Uso splash and gave him a double jump moonsault. Sammy broke up the pin. Jacob kicked out of the double Uso super kick. Then here comes Drew McIntyre. Obviously, a play toward the match that's going to happen on Monday between Jay and Drew McIntyre. Jey Uso attacks him with a suicide dive to the ropes. Gets back in the ring. Samoan drop by Jacob Fatu. Jay kicks out. And then Jay hits a spear on Jacob and then hits a Uso splash on Jacob. But unfortunately, Jacob was not the legal man, which led to Solo hitting Jay with the Samoan spike. And the New Bloodline win, and the show closes out with Solo and the New Bloodline celebrating the win as Michael Cole and Corey Graves remind us to tune in Monday night, January 6th, for Clash of the Podcast 8:05. No, I'm just joking. For Monday Night Raw on Netflix. But yes, you should check out, Sean and Conrad on Monday, 8:00 p.m. as we do our watch along. Make sure you're there to rock with us. But yeah, so that was a pretty good show. I mean, I want to ask you guys, on a scale of A through F, A plus through F minus, I guess, what would you grade the show? Tell me what you guys think. On a scale of A plus to A minus, what would you grade this first SmackDown of the year, first 3 hours SmackDown? I'm going to give it a B. It was better than I thought, and I'm going to tell you why. I thought and I'm going to go down the line. I thought Michin versus Piper was okay. I thought that Nia versus Naomi was really good, even though I think Naomi carried the match. I'm not really a big fan of Nia. I'm just being honest. But I thought that was a really strong match. I thought Tiffany's cash-in and the swerve of the cash-in was really good. The Paul Heyman segment was okay. Shinsuke kind of mid. But overall, 6-man tag, Jey Uso entrance, I'm going to give the show a B. I thought that SmackDown put on tonight And it was a show that they can be at least somewhat moderately proud of. I thought that they didn't bomb this one. So I'm going to give them a big shout out and say that they didn't jack it up. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't too bad. Y'all know me. I'm very hard on WWE. I'm talking about C-, D+. But tonight I'm going to give the show a solid B. It looks like M. Leezy, well, first of all, Vinny says that he's Monday is the most excited I've been for in a long time. I'm right there with you, my guy. M. Leezy gives it a B, and the only Vinny we like gives it a B. So overall, it was cool. Now, the last question I'm going to ask you guys is this. How do you guys feel about 3-hour format? Now, while you guys write in your answers, I'm going to say this. If you think about Jey Uso's entrance, that's the reason why Jey Uso's entrance could be so long, because it was 3 hours. The reason why the promos were a little longer tonight is because it's 3 hours. The reason why Naomi and Nia were able to cook for about 20 minutes is because the show was 3 hours. The reason why they can do that elaborate cash-in with Tiffany Stratton is because the show was 3 hours. The reason why they had the Solo and Paul Heyman interview in the ring and it was able to last and be conducive and strong was because the show was 3 hours. I don't mind the 3-hour format. I really, really don't. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's something that would be the worst thing in the world. Obviously, they made a decision. I think from a business side, the reason why it's 3 hours is because when WWE lost Raw, they probably went to the powers that be at USA or WWE, or I should say USA went to the powers that be at WWE and said, hey, listen, we're losing Raw, so you guys got to give us something back. And part of the negotiation was, hey, okay, we'll give you an extra hour of SmackDown. M. Leezy says a 3-hour format is good because it gives more time for matches, segments, and also time for those who don't get time on TV. I agree. That's my whole point. I agree with you 100%, M. Leezy. The only video we like says, I'm indifferent. Better have compelling stuff and not get treated like the Raw recap show like it was in 2015. Oh, man. I hope not. I hear you. I understand your concern. Clown says, if they're going to charge so much, give me content that matters. I agree. It's all based on content. I'll say the same thing I've said with Conrad on Clash to the Podcast. It doesn't matter if the show's 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or 5 minutes. If the show sucks, the show sucks. If the show's good, the show's good. We can all agree, I'm sure, that if we all, 3 of us, 4 of us have said that this was a B show, a B on a scale of A+ to F-, it was a B. I would sign up for that for free television every single week. The problem is when you start getting C- shows, D+ shows, then we're going to start complaining again. So in 2025, for 3-hour SmackDowns, WWE, I would say from a success, if it's a success or a failure, they are 1 for 1 in success. So shout out to them. The Tiffany Stratton cash-in was cool. The Jey Uso playing his music for like 8 minutes was cool. I enjoyed the show. It wasn't that bad. So listen, I want to thank you guys for coming and being with me tonight on this SmackDown review edition of HUBBanomics. A couple of programming notes. Once again, do not come and be with us on Monday at 6:05. We will not be there at 6:05. We will be on the EPW channel, on Conrad's channel, at 8 o'clock, actually 7:55 on Monday. We're going to be live on Monday just 2 hours later. It's not going to be 6:05. It's going to be at 7:55 Eastern Standard Time. Conrad and myself live watch along of Monday Night Raw's debut on Netflix. We hope to see everybody there. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a great time. Live watch along, okay? So make sure you guys lock in for that. Anybody who's going to stay up tonight, I'm going to try and stay up. Wrestle Kingdom. Oh, M. Leezy's reading my mind. Conrad's reading my mind about our watch along on Monday, and M. Leezy is reading my mind about tonight. If you guys are going to stay awake, make sure you check out Triller TV. Tonight they will be putting on Wrestle Kingdom. Wrestle Kingdom will be on tonight going into tomorrow morning. I'm going to try and stay up. I'm going to do my best to stay up and rock out with some New Japan, the biggest New Japan weekend of the year. So make sure you check that out. So listen, man, On behalf of everybody here at Hubbard Wrestling Weekly, and of course on behalf of my tag team partner Conrad as well, Clash of the Podcast, this is the newest edition of HUBBanomics. We are happy to have had you here. M. Leezy, Cleezy13Z, 4Tweezy, my only Vinny we like is in the building. Sir Quilly, we appreciate you. We appreciate everybody who decided to show up tonight. We certainly appreciate it. Shout out to XG Dub who showed me some love on the social media side. Listen, man, we're always happy to give you the very best in professional wrestling, whether it be right here on Clash of the Podcast or whether it be right here on right here on Hubbard Wrestling Weekly, and of course everything pro wrestling too. So with that being said, God bless. We'll see you on Monday at 8 o'clock. We're ready to lock in and have a good time, guys. Have a great weekend. Enjoy some New Japan, and we'll check you on Monday. All right? Legoat, I see you, man. I see you. Got you just in time. Everybody have a good night. We'll talk to you later. Peace.